Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Freddie Roach at the Wildcard Boxing Club, where Freddie talked to you about a few things, but most recently Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn finally getting made official for July 2nd in Australia. Give me your initial thoughts, because I know there's a lot of head scratching with fans like, oh man, why did Jeff Horn get picked? And a lot of people are expressing that they're not too happy with the matchup.
Well, the thing is, Manny's never been to Australia, and he'll draw a lot of people there, I hear. He'll fill a 65,000-seat arena, and Horn's the toughest guy in Australia in his weight division. So, we're fighting the best hometown guy they have, and it should be pretty interesting. I saw some tape on Horn. He's not a bad fighter. I mean, I think Manny should dominate him, but Manny has been a senator now, and we're training in Manila for this fight, and I'll be going to the Philippines and working him out there. And it's not the same as having training camp here at the Wildcard like we usually do, but I'll get Manny ready for the fight, and prepare him like I do for all the fights, and hopefully it's not near the end for Manny Pacquiao, because I know he has a lot of good fight left in him. He still works hard, and it was just a challenge and that they put in front of us. And the best guy in Australia at the weight, and the toughest guy, and the Australians seem to want to see a guy like Manny Pacquiao. So. They tell me that the stadium holds 65,000, and they expect it to be full.
It's a big, that's a lot of people, a lot of Australians. In interviews, Manny said that he didn't even know who Jeff was. Have you had a chance to talk to Manny about what he thinks about the situation and his thoughts on the Khan fight falling out and then this one coming in?
Well, the thing is, the Khan fight was, just the negotiations, but it never came to a realization because the money wasn't there. But the thing is, the fight in Australia was real, and Bob told me it's the best one that can happen right now. And Manny's we're going on a little bit of a road trip in someplace he's never been before, and it'll be really good for the Australians to get to see Manny Pacquiao perform live against their supposed toughest guy. The thing is, they kick him fight a little bit, and I'll get Manny ready, 100% ready for the fight and so forth. But I have talked to Manny. I told him, this guy's a little bit awkward, and he's a little strange style, but I think Manny should be able to handle it. But again, being a senator now and not a full-time boxer and more of a part-time boxer at this point, it's not the best situation in the world for Manny Pacquiao to be in right now. But when I get there, I'll push him and make him work, and he'll give me everything. I'm sure.
You personally, are you happy to see him in this type of matchup? Because I know I talked to you before and you said, I don't really want to see Manny fight these guys at this stage. I want to see him fight the elite, the best. So what do you make of it all now?
Well, the thing is, we've been talking about other fights out there and so forth. And Mikey Garcia, his brother, came here the other day and asked me, you think Manny will fight my brother? And I says, sure, I love that fight. And I said, and I said, but are you guys okay with Bob and so forth? And he told me, yeah, everything's good and so forth. He said, if I asked Bob to put that fight on, will you say yes? I said, of course I'll say yes. And last time I saw him at the fights, I said, what's going on with the fight? He says, well, you guys are going to fight a Horn, and then it looks like we might fight our second fight before the year's out, could be Mikey Garcia. And I like the Horn fight to get ready for Mikey Garcia, because it's a little bit of a tune-up, and get Manny a little fresher, and get him out of the office of being a senator and get his mind on boxing a little bit more.
That's a match I think a lot of fans would love to see. I know a lot of fans wanted to see the Khan fight as well, but just recently too, Keith Thurman was online on Instagram saying like, "Hey, let's make this fight happen. He has the other belt. I want all the belts."
Yeah, Thurman is making some noise right now, but he wasn't that impressive in his fight, so I don't think that'll happen. I mean, but Mikey Garcia has been impressive in his fights, and he's a tough fight. I mean, I don't know who wins that fight. I think Manny still has enough left to beat him, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. And I do think Manny can win that fight, but it is very, very difficult, and it's a very hard fight for both guys.
It's
the best fight in the best, though.
It is. It's like you guys are back like in 07, 08, because at that time everybody was calling out Manny. Everybody wanted to call and fight him, and now you're seeing Amir, Keith, Mikey, Crawford, Lomachenko all wanting fights with Manny.
Yes, I mean, Lomachenko, but he wants a year to get ready for the fight and 2 tuna fights. But in the weights, like what weight are we going to fight at and so forth, and those are the biggest issues at this point with most of the fights. The Mir Khan fight, and we've been hearing about Dubai having a big fight for 30 years now. I mean, 30 years have gone by. They've never had one. They don't have that kind of money. There's rich people there, yes, but the thing is, the rich people are the ones that put the fights on. They're the spectators. They might go to the fight, but the thing is, the country of Dubai, Bob told me, they just can't put a big fight like that on. So, Amir thought because he has a bank account there, he could get it done. But he needs a bigger bank account.
$1 billion bank account, to be more exact. Looking at Jeff Horn, and you mentioned he has like an awkward style, but do you see it something similar to like the Chris Algieri situation where like it was an opponent that wasn't really well known? Algieri kind of carried the promotion because Manny was tied up in the Senate and also tied up in the Philippines. Do you kind of equate it to something like that?
It's very similar, yes. And the thing is, to take a big fight like Garcia, I mean, and I don't, I haven't talked to Bob in depth about this, but he told me it's definitely a fight that can be made. And then after that, I mean, maybe Crawford. I mean, because I want to fight the best guys out there, and these are 2 of the best guys out there. And Manny actually would have to beat him to get Crawford, of course. And Crawford might be the most challenging style for us at this point. That's why I'm picking the Garcia fight first or before.
I know Crawford would love that fight, but I think it's if Manny fights Mikey, because I know Mikey's talked about fighting Crawford, that might be in his favor. Like, hey, knock this guy out of my way so I could just get the winner of that. Manny having his obligations as a senator and seeing that he has this fight and one more. And I know it's always a question as to when will be the last fight or the last year, but the way you see it and from the conversations you've talked to him about it, has he given any indications that this could be the last year?
No. Well, no, he's giving me an indication this will not be the last year.
Oh, really?
No. Miguel Cotto is going to be done at the end of the year. And we're going to have a couple fights, it looks like, with him, and it should be a lot of fun. And but Manny Pacquiao, he still has a lot of fight left in him, and he told me he's had a couple years left. And the thing is, he still works hard. His work ethic is great. And the only time when he starts slowing down, I will tell him, and we have an agreement that he'll retire when I tell him it's over. But you know what? His last fight, the work ethic was great and so forth. We worked as hard as we could in the Philippines, and it worked well. And for this fight, I feel that it'll be the same Manny Pacquiao, because when I left, he was great. And the thing is, and then if he's still looking good and does well in the Horn fight, and we fight Garcia next, that's the big fights I'm looking for. And the Horn fight is, maybe a stepping stone towards the bigger fight. And the thing is, I like that because I like activity for Pacquiao, and activity is always what has kept him fresh. And without activity, without maybe a tune-up fight, I hate to throw him in a tough fight right away like that.